Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another HABS Daily News with your hockey coach, Guru Coach Frenchy. Today, episode number 113. What do you have on the menu, coach? OMG, guys, I have a lot of stuff to talk about the Montreal Canadiens because it's the Labor Day weekend. We wish you an amazing, great weekend, the 3 days for everybody. But I'm going to talk about strengthening the KIRBY DACH again. Going to talk about Sean Monahan. Going to talk about LOGAN MAILLOUX. Going to talk about possibly a trade between the Montreal and the New York Rangers. And of course, at the end, a couple of signatures around the NHL. So don't go nowhere. But before we start, please, we invite you, don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Live Show. Please leave me a comment about the episode number 113 and sharing this video on your social media. That will helping us to reach another milestone of the Hockey Nation Live Show. Let's dive in talking about the first subject of the day. So today, guys, it's because it's the Labor Day weekend. It's a Saturday. I said, let's talk about different things around the Montreal Canadiens, what's going on. And I think that will give you an idea for what I'm thinking about the Montreal Canadiens for the upcoming season. First of all, I want to talk about KIRBY DACH. Why, coach? First, listen, KIRBY DACH, guys, you have a lot of potential to become a great center in NHL. He was drafted 3rd overall pick in 2019. He's a big center, 6'4", almost 200 pounds. Look, we understand his wrist injury did not helping him in the last 2 years with the Chicago Blackhawks at the point where he really struggled on shooting the puck and on the face-off for sure. But what I'm talking about for KIRBY DACH, when you go deeper, I have a chance to watching the SML. It's a company about the analytics. It's a company put the chip inside the players and their pants usually, and they report different analytics where it's not really studied by different team. The name of the guy he does all this things like this is Shane Kelly. During his interview with TSN a couple of days ago, he talked about the reason why he really believed KIRBY DACH could become a great hockey player in NHL. It's all about the transition we talk about. He's really good on the exit of the zone and on the entry zone. And he compared him a bit like what Anthony Duclair does with his transition during the game. So it's one reason he believes KIRBY DACH we can become successful in NHL. He's still young, a lot of things to develop, and he believes the Montreal Canadiens with Christian Boucher, the analytic guy, he maybe find a way where he really believes the data give a chance to KIRBY DACH to become a great hockey player in NHL. So it would be really interesting. In return, he will believe the Romanov is plafonné about his analytics. He believes Romanov is never going to be a top 3 defenseman for any team in NHL. Believe he struggled a lot around the defensive zone awareness. And of course, he knows the physicality of the game he does. But he's really limited about stick angling, carrying the puck, and on his offensive side. So he said, look, I believe the Montreal took the right decision to trade Romanov for KIRBY DACH at the end of the day. Now, we want to talk about the Sean Monahan expectation. Meanwhile, Shane Kelly talk about the fact he does not expect a lot from Sean Monahan. He does not see him recovery at 100% because of his hip. He says, secondly, one thing is not helping him. He's not a faster skater in NHL. He's really limited. He's below average as a skater. And if your hip does not helping you to play at 100%, he does not see him to perform at the same level he did at an early age when he played for the Calgary Flames. So at the end of this trade, anyway, Montreal got a first round for this transaction between the Flame and the Montreal Canadiens. Let's move on for the next thing I want to talk about is LOGAN MAILLOUX. The next thing I want to talk about, guys, is the defenseman LOGAN. We know he was drafted by the Montreal Canadiens in 2021, 31 overall pick by Marc Bergevin. His expectation for him was high for the Montreal Canadiens. We know the saga for when he played in Europe. I don't want to go deep about this situation, but the problems on the year last season, he got hurt during a fight on the ice, and then he has to got a surgery, and it looked like he's not a 100% at the point where the team, the London Knights, doesn't expect him to be ready for the upcoming season. He's going to miss completely the training camp for the Knights. He's going to missing the rookie camp for the Montreal Canadiens, and then finally they expect him not starting the season at the same time with the London Knights. So it's something we have to follow up in the next couple of months to see what he looked like after his injury, when he's going to be ready to be back on the ice. Then I want to talk about a trade bait between the New York Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens again. Last couple of months, the trade bait has always been high between the New York Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens because Jeff Gordon works many years as a manager, general manager for the New York Rangers. He drafted a lot of young players for this organization. Plus, Paul Brav, he came from that organization too. So a lot of things are related between the Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens. And I want to talk about one specific players. I want to talk about the defenseman, 22 years old, Neil Longvis, right defenseman for the New York Rangers. Listen, he's like I mentioned, 22 years old. He was a first round pick by the New York Rangers, the 28th overall in 2018. He's still young. He played last season on American Hockey League for the New York Rangers. 25 games in NHL, 34 in American Hockey League. He has 15.3 goals, 12 assists with the Wolfpack. And for the Rangers, he have 1 goal, 3 assists, and 4 points in 25 games with the Rangers. But he's stuck in the ladder of the New York Rangers. So it looked like the Rangers are willing and ready to trade him before the upcoming season start. And I think Montreal Canadiens are looking, of course, for a right defenseman. So it'll be maybe a great fit for everybody, for the players, for both teams. And I think Montreal Canadiens can give something in return where the New York Rangers could be. I agree with that part over there. I believe in return, the Montreal Canadiens can offer 2 players, Riley Kidney and Jan Mezak. Both players was a second-round pick at some different years for the Montreal Canadiens, and I think one or two could interest the New York Rangers. Of course, they will have to add something like a middle pick, a 3rd round, a 4th round, a 5th round, and 2023, something possible. The New York Rangers could open the door for a transaction between the Montreal Canadiens and the New York Rangers. We know Ken Hughes been amazing since he's a new general manager with the Montreal Canadiens. Find a way always to make great trade so far. So it'll be interesting to follow up for the next couple of weeks if it's the possibility between the New York Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens, that trade bait could happening. Let's move on now, guys, for the next subject of the day. Let's talk about the HABS culture. It's a Labor Day, and I always believe when you coach in hockey, the Labor Day weekend is really important. That's why you set up your plan, your goal, and your team building everything together. And I've always been a one person work a lot about the mindset, the team building, how to put all together. And today I want to give you my philosophy, how you can make a team better just because you show them the right mindset. And I think the Montreal Canadiens with Ken Hughes, Martin St. Louis, Jeff Gordon, and the rest of his staff does an amazing, great job about that direction. And I think they will find a way to make that team better. And they have a way right now, they build that team together because the way it's about the way they teach people and the way they develop players. And I have to give credit for the way Ken Hughes talk, transparency with everything, and how he care about each one in this organization. I give you an example. When they trade Tyler Toffoli for Calgary, Montreal Canadiens get a rookie called Emil Heineman. When the transaction was done deal, he called personally Emil Heineman and tell him exactly the reason why the Montreal want him. And he showed him how much they care and how much they are looking for to have any man part of the Montreal Canadiens. And they did it with other trade, of course. And that's what is a big difference for the Montreal Canadiens now. Secondly, the development. They make so many change as a staff for the development for each players. You know already the Le Cavalier, the Poulain, the Nicolas, and I can make more name here, but I just want to mention to you the development is one big difference now for the Montreal Canadiens compared with Marc Bergevin. And that would bring you guys, I really believe the Labor Day weekend, that's what you start your next hockey season. For me, when I was coaching, that's what I really show to my players and the team where I'm looking for the purpose, the goal, my expectation, the rules, and the outcome at the end. Plus the process, the practice, the drill, show everything. And when you are really have an amazing, great plan, and the player feel it, and the player buy it, and player want it. And when you do this, I use a way called the 4C. We're talking about culture, the 4C. But I would believe if you want to build a great team and to make everybody better and the chance to win more, is you use the communication. It's how you communicate. Then you use the connection with the players. Then you use the commitment for yourself to them. Then you show them how much you care about them. And then I want to explain to you each one of them. So the communication, guys, is about build the trust between the players and the coaching staff. Then you trust generate commitment. Commitment foster teamwork. And the teamwork deliver result. If all start with a great communication, and when you communicate this very well to the players, I'm telling you right now, this player grow so much better, and they want to give you more, and he's buy it, the plan you try to accomplish for the upcoming year. The next thing is about connection. It's about connect. Communication became the process of building trust, but connection is where a bond of trust is created. Connecting is essential because you will never have commitment without connection. If you want a commit relationship and a commit team, you must make the time to connect with them. And that's the most important things, I believe, of the 4C. Then I want to move on now for the commitment. The commitment, guys, is everybody want their team members to be commit. But if you want commitment from others, you have to show your commitment to them. It starts with you. And I always tell my players, guys, I'm going to give you everything for me. You're going to have my time. I will be there 24 hours. This is how you can reach me. And anything you need, anytime you need something, please reach me. When you show them your commitment at 100%, day in, day out, you're going to have players commit to your team all the way. And finally, I want to finish, guys, with the care. If you knew someone care about you and have your back, would you be more open to their feedback? Of course, you would. And it's the same with your team members. When people know you care about them, they will be more likely to care about you and what you have to say. And I want to refer this guy about Martin Saint-Louis. Saint-Louis showed at the beginning when he became the head coach by interim by the Montreal Canadiens, he showed how much he cared, directly teaching them one by one. The way the Montreal Canadiens communicate with the players, one by one, with strength members, staff, coaching, and development coach, you show already how much you care about the players. And that's coming back to what? Communication, commitment, connection, and finally care. So I just want to express to you guys how you can make a team better. I would love to hear your comments about this subject, the HABS new culture. And for me, that's what the Montreal Canadiens showed to me so far since they are hired at the beginning of the 2022. Let's move on now, guys, for the last subject of the day. Here we go, guys. It's the NHL news today. We have a couple of signatures around the league. First of all, let's talking about the Vancouver Canucks signed the 29 years old an extension of 7 years at $8 million AAV for a total of $56 million. We know Miller have an amazing, great year last season, 99 points in 80 game. Of course, he have 217 points in the last 202 game in NHL. Look, he's going to start this contract only the 2023 and 2024 season. But I believe Miller is a great hockey player, two-way center, play on fun special team. I believe this is a great signature for the Vancouver Canucks, and I can wait to see Miller perform for under the head coach Bruce Boudreau for the upcoming year. We know the Canucks now have Quinn Hughes, Peterson, Bamko, now Miller,Ovat, Brock Bozer. That team is not bad at all, and they have a couple of rookies coming for the upcoming year. So it'll be interesting to see how the Vancouver Canucks are going to handle other team in the Pacific Division. Can they make the playoff? That's something we have to follow up for sure for the upcoming season. But we have two more signatures in the NHL yesterday. Let's talking about the Winnipeg Jets sign Sam Gagner. Gagner was with the Detroit Red Wings for the last couple of years, signed a one-year contract at $750 with the Winnipeg Jets. And finally, ex-Colorado Avalanche winner of the Stanley Cup, Ryan Murray, signed a one-year contract now with the Edmonton Oilers for the upcoming year. Murray is a veteran in NHL like Gagner, and he just satisfied the left defense side of the Oilers in case an injury could happen to Nurse or Brober or Kulak. And of course, we know Duncan Keith left the organization, retired now in NHL. So I think this is a great signature for Edmonton if something could happen to the players I just mentioned to you. This, guys, is all the news we have at the NHL news today. Here we go, guys. This completes the episode number 113 for the Habs Daily News with the hockey coach, Guru Coach Frenchie. We have a lot on this episode, to be honest with you. Hopefully you enjoy it. Please, before we leave, we want to invite you. Don't forget, September 6th. Yes, September 6th, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, p.m. We are launch the year number 3 with new stuff is coming for the upcoming year. New programming, new show, new contributor, new sponsorship. Until the next time, my friend, I want to remind you, don't forget to subscribe, click on the likes, and finally leave me a comments about this show, and you have greatness inside of you. Have an amazing, great day, everybody.